What's going on? We here with a new episode of the New Hood Podcast. We here with the guys. We got Venom
What's up?
and we got Shawn,
What's happening?
and then you got myself, D Braxton.
So,
What's up, y'all? We here.
hey, man. Yeah, brother. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. How was y'all
almost
weekend?
Christmas time. It was good. It was good. Yeah, it was good, man. Just kind
Uh,
of chill. Yeah, man. What about
well,
you?
that type of- oh. For me, it was nothing. Went out with some friends to see some a boat show. I guess they had like I thought it was real boats, but I guess it was the man-made boats, like in a little creek and stuff. So it was cool taking the kids to see, and they got to play with. So it was pretty dope. Got to do that. What about you,
Okay.
Sean? What you do this weekend?
So Friday I went over to go help my partner. He wanted to do something on his car or whatever, fix a piece on there. So went over there, helped him out with that a little bit. We did more drinking than we did fixing, but you know what? That's okay. You know what I'm saying? We had a good time. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
And then come to find out, the crazy part is he texted me the next day and was like, actually, the part that we was gonna fix is there's this random extended warranty where the dealership will cover it, so I'm just gonna take it up there. It's like, okay, all right. But I did that, and then last night, one of my coworkers with my real estate brokerage, they had a dinner at their crib, so went over there for a little bit and got to meet some of the people that I didn't know on the team and just kick
Okay.
chill for a little bit.
That's what's
Nothing too
up. That's what's
crazy.
up.
Yeah.
Hey, Brax, how many
What's up?
kickbacks you having for New Year's?
At least six.
None. I'm going to somebody's kickback on Saturday. What day is
Okay.
the 23rd? The 23rd is Saturday, right?
Saturday, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I'm going to
Matter of fact,
somebody's ugly sweater contest.
we hosting a
But
birthday party here at our crib for some friends on the 23rd. So,
yeah.
yeah, man.
So yeah, that's all.
That's it. So you got out of
Yeah,
me.
yeah. That's all I got. Yeah, that's about it though.
Hey, Brax, before we end, because it's going to be funny. So, before we end, remind me to talk about the Detroit Pistons. That's it. That's it.
Here we
We
go.
good. That's, no,
Here
man.
we go.
It's just something I seen on Twitter. I thought was so Detroit. Yeah, I thought it was funny as hell. So,
Yeah, man. Well, all right, man. Well, we were just talking about ugly sweater contest and
okay.
all that. So, Josh, one of your topics. I don't know if you want to introduce it or you want me to just go ahead. It's up to you.
Yeah, I'm about to say go ahead. It was something my wife had posed a question that she felt it would be a good topic for us to talk about.
Okay. And the question was, what is a good age to come clean with your kids about Santa Claus? Like, when do you essentially like rip that part of that fantasy from them and give them reality? So, I guess starting with you, Sean, what age do you think that it's appropriate to do that, or if you do it at all anyway?
Realistically, I don't know. I mean, I'm just about ready to do it right now, to be honest with you. I
With
just like
all
I
of your kids?
well, the two oldest they close in age, so it's like they pretty much the same. The 1 year old he don't care anyway.
Yeah.
But I also feel like if I did, my mom would probably like dog on there disown me type deal
You think
because
so?
hey, she would like she'd be like, why would you do that to them? Like I don't know, but
Well, I guess my
like
question is, how did you find out? Do you remember how you found out by any chance?
I want to say I snuck out my room one night and caught my mama wrapping my presents up,
Bro, so we hit the
something like that,
matrix.
something
SpongeBob
like that.
B.
You
Bro
know what I'm
said,
saying?
whoa, hold on.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I think, but I don't think there's a specific age that comes to mind. Um, I don't know. Like I was telling Josh the other day, or the other day when we was on the game, it was just like for me, it's like I really don't like the concept of like giving somebody else credit for something that I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Like I worked hard to like be able to provide these things for you, type deal. I don't know. Maybe that's a pride thing. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I think that is a little bit of a pride thing, but I mean, at the same time, I feel it. I feel
Hey, hey, that don't bid it. Nah.
it.
Yeah, what it is.
Yeah, for us, I think it's a hard question, but at the same time, it's like I think what used to be whatever the norm was back in the day. I think now you have to kind of like maybe do it a little bit earlier, just because of how social media is and the way these kids have grown up and stuff now. Like everything, like kids just growing up so quick. So like I don't know if it was, yeah, you gotta wait till they 5, 6, 7, 8. Like now it's probably like a couple years earlier than that. But I don't know, man. I'm not really ready right now though. My son's 5, and I'm definitely not ready to take that from him yet, because he really does enjoy the concept. So I ain't ready to do that yet.
And Nixon, before you speak on that, I do want to say
Mhm,
something real quick, just to like piggyback off of what DJ just said. I
mhm,
definitely like. I do want to. I be like wanting to like get it out of the way, rip that band-aid off or whatever. But at the same time, like seeing the excitement that the kids have with seeing
Hmm.
like the little elf on the shelf and like, Santa's coming in, you know, I feel like it would be extremely like ignorant for me to like ruin that happiness, that
Yeah.
joy for the kids. You know what I'm saying? So as much as I feel like, knowing the truth about it and stuff like that, I couldn't. I don't think I could. I think once they lose that excitement, and they kind of like starting to question things in life, then that might be when the time comes. But I think that time or that age comes different for like every child, so to speak. Like you might be 10 and you like already questioning real life scenarios, whereas a 12-year-old might still be like completely oblivious to the world around them. So I think it just depends on the child for real.
mhm.
Yeah, yeah, I think so too. What about you, Josh?
Honestly, like you guys saying, I truly don't know. Like I was even trying to think, like even with my oldest, I'm pretty sure like we never had that conversation. I honestly think she like kind of found out on her own, and that's why I was trying to think like what age would other kids ruin it? Because I don't know, would it be worse if other kids ruined it or would it be me? Um, so I really don't know, but I wouldn't mind. Go ahead and go ahead, just because, bro, it's too much. It's too much. We're liars when you think about it. It's hypocritical, It's just to say, hey, don't lie and do all these. And I know Aiden, he gonna say something smart when he find out the truth, and we gonna have to tussle, cause he gonna be like, hey, this is crazy. You tell me not to lie, then this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Lying to me for years, type deal.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think it'll be one of those. I think I do want to have those conversations. Like I would rather me and his mom tell him that he go to school, and then they say, the kid be like, hey, look at that. He still believing in Santa Claus. He's like, yeah, everybody should. What you talking about? He's like, and then it's
Yeah,
like,
I
so I
just
think that's the toughest question, man.
yeah, I just don't want my son. If I did tell him, I don't want him to be the one to go to school and ruin it for another
Oh, but
kid.
Oh, they gonna ruin
You
it.
know
They
what I'm
gonna
oh, I
tell
saying?
they gonna
definitely
tell
think.
their best friend or something, and it
Uh
ain't even
huh.
gonna be on no like malicious type stuff. It's just gonna be in a random conversation like kids do now. You know what I'm saying? They just be walking around, random kid walking through Walmart. He walk up to you. My daddy be beating my mama at home. You be like, whoa, I could have asked where the frosted flakes was. You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
think it's gonna be like one of those type of situations where they just chopping it up and then it just come out like, especially once it get like close to the holiday like season and stuff like that. It's gonna be
Hmm.
like, yeah, I can't wait to see what my dad gave me for Christmas. And the other kid gonna be like, what? Like, yo, dad, Santa the one that bring the gifts. You know what I'm saying? So
Nah,
Yeah.
I feel you. But I'm about to say, I will say, Santa don't get as many gifts as he used to. That's something I'm gonna say for me. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
No, I mean we do that. We definitely do that. Like we'll say Santa got you this, but then mommy
we
got
got
you
you this.
this. You know what
Yeah,
Okay, I
I'm saying?
feel that. I feel that.
yeah.
Uh, but my son, no, he really is into like the whole holiday thing. So that's
Mhm.
why I'm just not going. I'm gonna hold off as long as possible. Like and like this is like the first year like age wise where he's like really into it. At first he just liked the whole tree decorating and opening
Yeah.
up gifts, but like the whole concept now I think registered with him. So like I had told him, like he had said he wanted a telescope, and I was like, well, we're gonna see if Santa Claus will get it for you. And then I literally went in the garage, and then I called my wife on and told her to put it on speaker. I did the most corny shit possible, but like, you know what I'm saying? I got on the phone, I was acting like I was Santa, and I was like telling them, oh, I heard he wanted a telescope, and I was just telling him how he had to be good in school and all that. And like when I came in the house, like his eyes were just lit up, and he was just sitting there like, Daddy, Santa Claus called. He said he gonna get a telescope. I was like, oh, okay. So like I don't want to. I like honestly. I enjoyed that little, you know what I'm saying, little suburban bullshit.
Facts.
Like so, and I don't want to ruin that. So like I'm gonna
No,
probably
I
hold
respect
off
it.
as long as possible. But I remember when I found out though, I was like probably like 5 or 6. Uh, and my mom. So me and my twin brother and I, we have god brothers who are also twins.
Oh
Um,
snap.
yeah, and they were and we were over their house, and they were like a year older than us. So we went over there, and we used to all just tear each other house up. Like we'd go over their house, we'd tear their house up. They come over our house, they tear ours up. But like this was like right after Christmas, and like we had a bunch of brand new like Power Ranger toys and stuff. And like I remember one of my god brothers broke the toy, and I was like, "Oh, it's cool. I just called Santa Claus to give me another one." And I guess my mama heard that, and boy, that lit a fire under her. Because on our way, when they left, my mama she took she let the whole thing out, the cat out the bag. Ain't no damn Santa Claus. I bought that. so yeah, so that was how I found out. But I'm not gonna do that to like, I understand where you coming from, Shawn, on some like you don't want nobody else to get credit, but like you're gonna eventually get credit for it. You know what I'm saying? Like once they get older and the you know what I'm saying, the truth come out, then they gonna know you was the one the whole time. But I
Now they
don't
need to know
wanna
I'm
I don't
standing on business now.
right. But I just don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to do it like I'm self-serving. I don't want to
Yeah,
come off
yeah.
as self-serving for it. Like I do stuff for you year round. And if you don't appreciate that, then I mean you ain't never gonna appreciate it. So
No, I
yeah.
respect it.
So
I
that's just
respect it.
I keep it in the bag for right now. But I don't know how much longer though, because like I said, when I go pick up my son from school, like just sitting there waiting on them to come out, you hear some of the like kids talking. A
Kid
lot of them
different.
are like only like a little bit older, but like I mean maybe because Derek is in kindergarten, he's like second and third graders, and they conversations be way too advanced. So it's like
That's
I'm sure probably about next year some kid gonna probably ruin it for everybody.
oh yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
he gonna have recess jumping. Hey,
Hmm.
everybody gather around. I got something important to
Yeah,
say.
somebody. But I mean, that day after I did the whole Santa Claus call and all that stuff, he
Hmm.
like they said at school, like they were talking about how good he was because he was telling them Santa Claus called him last night and all that. So I was just like, hey, whatever's clever, we gonna do that then for
And
right
they
now.
was probably like, "Hey, could you call? We got a list of numbers. Do you mind
Uh huh.
calling these other kids?"
Right. Yeah. So I'm just gonna live with what we got right now. We gonna do that.
I
No, I
respect that.
respect
I
it.
feel it.
Yeah, I
I most
respect it.
definitely agree with that. I don't know. It's just something about seeing that excitement in them. Like I was saying earlier, it's just like it just be. It's too pure. Like it's too pure
Yeah,
for you to like come along and try to put some like negative spin on it, or like because you feeling a way about it or something like that. Like no matter, regardless of what your emotions towards it, like the holiday or whatever it may be, it's like it's just it's too.
'cause I think
Too,
you
the
do
only word I
that,
can
then
think of
it's
is pure.
then it's gonna be the elf on the shelf. Then it's the Easter bunny. I mean, it's a long line. You just start ripping the band-aids. I'm gonna definitely sit down. It's gonna be hard to hear. Okay, get you some milk. Sit down. We need to talk.
Yeah.
It's been me in there painting them eggs. Okay.
Man,
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah, I'm a wait, but yeah, it's gonna come eventually though. But yeah.
All right.
All right. Well,
Respect
next
it.
question. Sean, you want to introduce one of your topics?
yeah, 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 yeah. I forgot what I had, what I even had in the bag. Um, okay, so one of the questions that I was thinking, like, crossed my mind. I do most of my thinking while I'm driving from the job to the job because it's an hour and a half drive with all that traffic. You don't have nothing to do but think.
All right, wow.
So, it was. Do you think people are emulating the things that they see or hear? I.e., you listen to like rap music, or you watching crazy movies, whatever the case may be. Do you think, or even video games, whatever it may be, do you think people tend to emulate the things that they're intaking on a day to day basis?
Yeah. Yeah. I think honestly you can tell like a lot of it is social media. I think obviously rap and all that stuff gonna play a little bit of part. But I think social media honestly is worse than like hip hop when it comes to like people trying to emulate it and stuff. Because I think I mentioned it before, but I was like I don't like that how when you get on social media everybody attaching themselves to like trauma that don't belong to them. So
Mm,
like like one of the topics I think we had on here was like do black men protect black women and all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And like you hear that conversation a lot on social media, and I think a lot of times that's not necessarily most people's reality, the people who argue it and say that, black men don't protect them or whatever. Because a lot of times if you do ask that person like, hey, do you gotta like a lot of times they'll have a husband that they know is their protector and brothers and uncles and fathers and all that. But then they'll have all those people knowing that they have them in their corner, but because they saw something on social media of a guy attacking a woman and nobody did anything, then they'll say black men don't protect black women. It's like, no, that's an isolated thing that you saw on the internet, not necessarily like the reality of the world. You know what I'm saying? So like I think that happens a lot, you know what I mean? Where you talking about that's why I'm glad like with this podcast we don't get too far into the gender wars because I feel like that type of stuff like further the false like
yeah,
Narrative.
yeah, narratives and realities that we start to face because people, like I said, they attach themselves to it. They, oh, the most unprotected person is the black woman and da da da. And it's like, I get that, but that's not your reality. You know what I'm saying? You know that you got 10, 15 people in your corner that's gonna step if you tell them the wrong thing. You know what I mean? So
facts.
yeah, and I think that's a huge thing in our like culture and in social media is people attaching themselves to stuff that don't necessarily belong to them because they see it on the internet. It's like programming almost.
I respect
But
that. I
yeah.
respect that.
What about you, Josh?
Definitely. I mean, for instance, I think like a big topic is, of course, mental health. And I do think a lot of people do have mental health things, but I
Hmm.
also think it's become a cool thing to say that you have a mental health disease. Like I was just reading yesterday and it was saying that Generation Z suffers from menu anxiety. It's
I
like,
seen that. That was crazy. That was
and I
wild,
was like, okay, didn't know that was a
Menu
thing.
anxiety. What is that?
Yes, like going
bro.
to a restaurant and you see a menu and you get overwhelmed because you don't know what to order.
And then you get overwhelmed because you don't want to speak to the waiter, something like that. Like that was wild. I would have never
And
ever
this is
thought.
between 18 and 24. It says 67%. And I was like, okay, well,
Yeah.
and I just
Menu
think it's,
anxiety.
yes. And I think
Okay.
it's just become one of those things that we attach anything with. And so that's why I think, because like you said, it's just a hot topic. So it's easy for everyone to say it. I love the space that a lot of spaces have created for people that actually need their help to get. But it's things like this that I think kind of hurt that same space. Or it's kind of like, because I'm all open to ears, but I'd be lying to you if you came to me and was like, bro, I'm struggling with this menu anxiety. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, stop playing with me, man.
Yeah.
Like, come
I
on, gotta
mean,
clear my schedule.
and then another thing would be how people like when you talk about mental health, everybody got some diagnosis they want to throw out
Oh,
there.
yes.
Like everybody now is calling like you had a like a lot of dudes and women too, like, oh, my ex was a narcissist. And they'd be
Oh,
like,
yeah.
bro,
Hey,
do
that's
you
your
not
favorite
know that
word. Bro
that
said
is
he
a
hates that word.
I hate that bro, do you not know that that's an actual like diagnosis and like
Yeah.
they're like it's a real diagnosis called narcissistic personality disorder. So like,
Hmm.
stop calling people narcissists just because y'all didn't work out. You know what I'm saying? So
Not at
like,
all.
but like that's because it's such a hot word that people use on social media. It's like, yeah, so every time you have a ex that either challenged the shit that you said, or maybe they was not the greatest person, but that don't necessarily make them a narcissist. You know what
Facts.
I'm saying?
Just means
Or
y'all wasn't good together. That's
yeah,
it.
narcissist, gaslighting, what's another
Toxic.
one?
Toxic.
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 Everybody toxic or a narcissist or gaslighting you. And it's like, nah. Or maybe they just challenging your thought process because maybe not everything you saying is a fact. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So yeah, but that all goes back to like people emulating what they seeing on the internet.
Yeah.
So
And then I also say, like, in that same breath, I do think we're too quick to give our diagnosis. For instance, my son was seeing a therapist, and he's 9, and the doctor was like, I tell him like to just talk, have a space where you can talk, whatever. And the
mhm.
doctor was like, yeah, he may be bipolar. I was like, what? What are we talking about? And then I was like, nah, I don't think that. He was like, okay, well, we can monitor it and stuff. And that's when I was like, okay, I mean, back in the day, like you had to fight just to get ADHD. Now
Mhm.
the bottom line is bipolar. Like
Yeah,
it's
you
just,
blink the wrong way. Oh, he
hey,
bipolar. Oh,
hey,
yeah. I mean, that's another word that a lot of people use too. They like, I'm bipolar. Like, no, you're not, bro.
But they be saying
facts.
that with pride though. They be
Yeah.
like, yeah, like, and they be like, bro, that's. I mean, I
But yeah, that's
definitely.
another thing. It's the bad. I think they're badges now. Like people
Yeah.
like that stuff you used to like keep with your close circle. Be like, oh, I'm battling some things now. Off the first
Yeah.
conversation, they be like, hey, what's up? Oh, nothing, man. Just battling depression. You like,
But
Yeah.
do, but do you think that's a form of like attention seeking
I do in a
Yeah.
sense, but I was about
Yeah.
to say that's why it's a thin line because I
for
do know
some people?
people.
For some
Yeah,
people,
that's
yeah.
really
Like I know
hard.
there's people
And
that are
then I
really
know,
battling with. So I'm not
and
taking
I
away
know
from
some
them,
people
but I'm saying
that,
for the people that like
yeah, to
diagnose
me,
themselves or something. Like, do you
to
think
me,
that's a
when you
form of
diagnose
attention seeking?
yourself or if you've been given resources and you haven't even attempted to try to outsource none of them resources to go and get any help, but just to say like because you want to be actively dealing with something because you know people are going to be there. But when people give you resources, be like, oh, well, talk to this person, get this, and they're steady giving you solutions, but you like, nah, I'm good. It's like, okay, well, what are we doing then? I'm not about to keep sitting here and like
Mhm.
listening, and I'm not about to keep running every time. Like, of course, bad stuff's gonna happen because we not dealing with X and we steady moving on to Y and Z and all that. So I do
Yeah.
think it is a form, but like I said, it's a thin line because for those people that's self-diagnosing and not trying to do nothing about it and actually going to get professional help, then yeah, I'm sorry. What we talked about.
Yeah. Yeah. 'Cause if I hear another person say like, "Oh, I have social anxiety," like, no, you don't, bro. No, you don't. Like that's
I was about to say, what
But I
about you,
ain't gonna
Sean?
lie.
Do you think
Hey DJ, I ain't gonna lie, brother. I definitely got social anxiety, dog.
you
I
just don't
got
like
that.
you
people?
might just be shy. Like,
No, you just hate
Nah, I
people.
think I'm
like
shy. Nah, I
yeah.
definitely think it's what Nixon said. But I also think
Just
too, I
don't.
get overwhelmed with the amount of noise. Like if I go to the mall or something and it's a million people in there and like you can't even hear yourself think, like I think that's what overwhelms me. I don't think it's the like real factor of like all the people around me or whatever, like anxious that they gonna do something. I think it's just the noise gets to me. Cause I already have 10 million things going through my head as it is. Like which meditation has kind of helped me like get rid of that, or not really get rid of it, but help me like tolerate it, like just taking some time to try and clear my mind and not think about nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like not even to be funny, but um, yeah, when you already have a million things going through your head and then you have to listen to all this intake of like sounds and stuff, I just get overwhelmed with that aspect of it.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
cousin out here talking about social anxiety is real. I'm not saying it ain't real. I know it's real. I'm just saying like everybody is using that word or that diagnosis like that's like you for real should be going if you really have social anxiety or you think you should probably go get checked out for that just to make
But I
sure.
do get
Like
checked out for it though. I
no, I'm
definitely
not
get.
saying
I
that you
definitely get checked.
don't. Well, yeah, you may.
Hey, no,
I'm
I'm
not.
just saying. I'm just speaking my truth. That's it. Hey, look, you
Good
ain't gonna
job,
have me on
DJ.
here looking like,
Not you
I,
hey,
hate mental
I'm.
health. Now you hate mental
look,
health.
man, all
Now I
I'm
gotta go
saying
get my
is not
prescriptions to show DJ
everybody.
that I really got these diagnosed.
Listen, I'm not saying that y'all don't have it. I'm saying that it's a word or it's a diagnosis
It's a
that
buzzword.
everybody, yeah, it's another of those buzzwords. So everybody be like, yeah, I
Yeah.
got anxiety, or I'm bipolar, or I'm antisocial. Like antisocial is an actual like personality disorder. Like you just might be more of like people use introvert. People are confusing what an introvert is to like
To,
being antisocial. Like
yeah.
antisocial is an actual like personality disorder. You know what I'm saying? Not, and I get it in semantics at this point, but like people, it's one thing to like say that and it's like saying it in jest, but then like people will be using it like and really act like they they actually have that like medical diagnosis when it
Yeah.
like the conversation gets serious. Like, no, because I really have social anxiety, and they'd be like, oh, for real? Then you got seen for it? No, I just got like, all right, bet I'm not about to you.
Google.
All right, bet
Google doctor.
you exactly. You didn't Wikipedia your diagnosis, or was it? You didn't WebMD your
WebMD.
diagnosis?
Hey,
Yeah, so
I know some doctors using
you know what I'm
WebMD.
saying?
Yeah.
But I do
That's
acknowledge
crazy.
that some people probably do have it.
No facts.
And I'm sure, I mean, if you saying that you have it and you've been seen for it, by all means, I'm hoping that it get better for you. But I'm saying
But
there
is
are
you
people
talking to me
who
or is you talking to the people? Nigga, I'm
Nah,
I'm
good.
he's talking
talking
to
to
I'm
you.
just,
everybody.
hey,
He's talking
look.
to
I'm
you.
talking to everybody.
He's talking to you, Sean.
I just don't
He's talking to
I
you.
don't want you to think that I'm
Sean, get
saying
help.
that people
You
don't
hear me?
have it. I'm
Look
saying
at
that there are people who saying they have it and not even sure. That's what I'm saying.
Hey, no.
Yeah.
I
But
will
I
say,
feel it.
I do encourage everyone to get sick. Because I was about to
yeah.
say, the biggest thing with me, how like we talked about our deployment, like everybody come up with a scheme, like, oh, I'm going to get seen soon. And then to you actually go get seen and realize like you actually dealing with stuff. And then you be like, damn, this is crazy. Because like even with PTSD, what most people don't think you gotta have bullets getting shot at, you had to get shot. Like a lot of people suffer from PTSD. And like whether it's growing up seeing things you've seen, because I always picture PTSD as like somebody hiding under a desk and like scared to like go outside and stuff. And how the doctor broke it down to me, she was like, have you ever been like just like chilling at a party and stuff and you just wondering why the hell everyone's so happy? You just like, what the fuck everybody just so happy for? And I was like, yeah, but that's normal. Like everybody got good days and bad days. And she's like, how many days is that type thing? So I just think, regardless, hey, get seen, stop self-side dosing. That's the
Yeah,
moral of the story.
that's what I'm
That's the
saying.
moral.
That's what I'm
Moral of the
saying.
story: get seen because it's probably something really wrong with your ass. So,
Yeah, yeah.
hey,
But
I can't
next
believe
topic.
DJ hate people.
Hey, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Hey,
Why y'all attacking me?
hey.
What's our next topic, bro? I think it was
Oh, I
another
love
one of
this.
Shawn topics,
Hey,
man.
I love this. Stomach was hurting, feeling better now.
uh, so I guess another question I have is like, where do you draw the line between giving yourself grace and holding yourself accountable? And by that, I mean, I guess just to give it more context, um, I'd be speaking with my wife in the past, and we'd be talking, and she'd be like, look how far you came. Like you've done X, Y, and Z. You've accomplished all these feats and stuff like that. And most people your age may not have like done it, or if you have, good for you. I'm not taking that away, but they may not have been able to accomplish this at the age that you're at. And just give yourself grace. But I feel like, okay, by doing that, I feel like I kind of give myself a sense of complacency. Um, and I feel like I should be holding myself more accountable. Not like down in myself, but like I know where I'm at. I know I've made it pretty far in life, but I know I could be this much farther. So at what point do you draw that line to say, all right, yes, you've done a lot, you've accomplished a lot, but it's time for you to be like, hey, you could do so much more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What, you want to go first, Josh?
Yeah,
Or you want?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Because you went first last time. I think it becomes a point when it starts affecting either your well-being or it has the chance to improve your well-being. For instance, for me, like with me supposed to be getting this certification, this Security Plus. I gave myself grace, right, until I got my bachelor's. Now I'm almost done with my master's. At this point, I'm just being lazy and I need to hold myself accountable because it's easy for me to say, like, oh, I'm juggling this and juggling this, but I still make time to do everything else that I want to do. But I'm just being lazy when it comes to that, because at first it was me trying to balance, like, oh, give yourself, grace, because you are still in school, you are still doing this. But at the same time, when I know it's not too much and something I should have been gotten done, when I even had my bachelor's, I just need to hold myself accountable. So how I look at it is, if, like, when it comes to something, like, if it's something new, I think you're allowed to have that grace. But if you've been saying something for over a year, I think it's just time for you to hold yourself accountable.
Yeah. I think you can do them both though. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I think sometimes when you holding yourself accountable, like you gotta realize like just because you're saying like, hey, I need to, that don't mean the job got to be done. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah,
because it's like, hey, I get it. You know what I'm saying? But the job, like life is, you know what I'm saying, ever
That's correct.
flowing. You got stuff going on. Life happens and all that. But if as long as you got a plan in place, or you know what I mean, enjoy the stuff that you done, you know what I'm saying, put together. If you ain't got nothing going on, then yeah, obviously you need to put one foot in front of the other. If you depending on other people, you gotta put one foot in front of the other. But like if you got, you know what I'm saying, yo, everything's solid in life, man, and you know what I'm saying, but you want more, that's fine.
yeah.
But like, you know what I'm saying, you don't know what tomorrow might bring. So like also enjoy the moments, enjoy, you know what I'm saying, the fruits of your labor. You know what I mean? So like giving yourself grace is sometimes shit, I need to take some time off from work and not do nothing. Like I'm gonna go, or I'm gonna go chill and do, you know what I mean? But like at the same time, you gotta realize that shit, you don't know what tomorrow might bring. Like when I realized I might have been being too complacent with like career wise, right? I was doing good promotion wise and all that stuff, and I was like, yeah, well, I got. I think this was probably like 2 years ago. So I was like, yeah, I still got like almost 10 years left before I retire. So I wasn't taking classes and all that. And then it came time for me for this next promotion, and I just started realizing like some of the people that I was competing with already got their bachelors, their masters, and some of them. One of the guys I work with, he got his doctorate. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, shit, I gotta. Now it's time for me. Like when I look around in the competition, got, you know what I'm saying, all of these things on their resume, and I don't. Then it's like, all right, now it's time to pick it up. I don't necessarily, I'm trying to compete with myself daily to be better, but like at the same time, you do got to realize, oh boy, over here, you know what I'm saying, he
You still
got
got to
that.
stay competitive.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
like, and then you know what I'm saying, seeing my wife get her bachelor's, and then also my wife got promoted this year, and I missed out on promotion by half a point. So I was just like, oh okay, it's now I got to do. It's some stuff I got to do to I got a reason, not really a reason, but like now I got, you know what I'm saying, I got to pick it up a little bit. So
yeah.
that's why this year I kind of turned it up a little, a notch or whatever. So, but at the same time, I still made sure I vacationed, you know what I'm saying, took my own time off to myself, you know what I mean, took time to do schoolwork with uninterrupted, like just finding that on your own personal time, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like a little bit of both in my opinion. But what about you, Sean?
I don't know. Like I think for the longest time I battled with giving myself that grace. I battle with like being able to see my accomplishments. I battle with like being able to say, "Oh, I made it this far." Like I bought a house I built my house at 22, 23. You know, had a yard full of cars, you know, and I had all these things, these materialistic things and stuff like that, but it was just like I was still left feeling unfulfilled, like I hadn't really accomplished nothing. And I don't know if it was more of like an internal journey that I was needing to like pursue and kind of like make that progress in that realm. Um, but I feel like I got to a point to where I did become complacent in that sense, to where it wasn't like I had relaxed in my goals of like what I wanted out of life, but it was more so like a feeling of making sure that I'm embracing life and enjoying life and actually living it, rather than just going day to day and just being like, okay, I woke up today, I'm gonna go through the motions, I'm gonna go to bed, and I'm gonna do it all over again. Actually taking those moments to like be able to, enjoy it. Like, cause like you said, tomorrow's not promised. So like being able to treat today as if it may have been the last day. But I feel like I may have gotten um too I guess a term you could use is like too set in that way of living,
Hmm.
so to speak. And I think I lost the edge of that accountability. Even though I wouldn't even say initially when I started it was accountability. It was just like me living. So I don't know. I think I just have to find that balance of holding myself accountable to remember what it is that I want, but also staying, here and now, and being able to still live every day as if it was the last,
Mhm.
while uh, keeping myself attached to what it is that I'm pursuing.
Yeah.
Oh, that,
Yeah, and I think that's the most important part though to kind of end that out is like you can definitely be, in those things and like really be locked in, but don't lose sight of like today. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause you going if that's all you focused on is the future or whatever or all that stuff, like you gonna eventually like miss out on a lot of good stuff. So like have fun and all that. Just you can I feel like you can just do both. Give yourself grace, but at the same time still like, what I'm saying, lock the goals in and all that cuz shit like ain't no 2 days the same, you know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So,
facts.
you know what I mean? So, you don't want to be so focused on the future cuz I see people always talk about that not sleeping cuz that's all that. Bro, go
You
go
can
to
sleep
sleep.
when you die. You
You
can
feel
sleep.
me? Like
Hey,
that's how you end up getting sick and dying early because you don't sleep. You know what I'm saying? Or like you miss out on like your kids and their growth and like milestones and all that because you so focused on like 10 years from now. You know what I mean? So like have those goals, go for those things, but then also remember that like what I'm saying, today you won't get another today. You know what I mean? So yeah, and it's some people that get to those things like people be focused on retirement. You know what I mean? People die months or a year after
shot.
retiring. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
So like
Mm.
that's why enjoy today. Don't think you can't vacation now because shit, you might retire and still not get to go on that vacation because your body's so used to working that once you finally got a chance to relax, you died. You know what
but
I'm
I
saying?
think
That
that's
happens.
something I seen to touch on what you just said. Something that I just seen, and you take these videos with a grain of salt, but something I seen, I think it was on TikTok, and it was talking about how he sacrificed like living life for him and his son, as far as like they was eating ramen noodles every day. He didn't go out, like he didn't take them to go to Chuck E. Cheese, his son to go to Chuck E. Cheese, or like, any of this stuff. Like everything was strictly stacking his coins and eating like ramen noodles, like I said. So that in, I think it was like 5 years time, they was able to like purchase a house with like a pool, and he started. So do you think that's a good balance, so to speak, or do you think that's just like kind of overdoing it? Because I personally, I'm not doing that.
I was about to say you might be OD and eating ramen noodles every day because
Hey, that sodium
yeah,
intake is crazy.
all right. Like that's what I'm saying. Like you might at the end of that road now you got high blood pressure because you thought that made sense. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. It's like because that's a lot of people want to go. They want a vacation so they can do all the wild exotic stuff on the balcony. You know all that stuff people talk about. But if you so focused and so stressed out regularly, by the time you can vacation and stuff, your stuff not even gonna be working like that. So that's why I'm like, bro, put that money to the side throughout the year and go on vacation this year. Vacation this year. So because you don't know what life gonna look like 10 years from now. Your marriage might not even be, you know what I mean? Like you just never know. I'm just be careful. That's what I'm saying. Live your life, enjoy it, have fun now. You know what I'm saying? But also save up some bread because you might be here for a while. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to put $100, even if you can't vacation 2-3 times a year. bro, put some money to the side to where maybe you do a big vacation every other year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you're not just in that same little hamster wheel of, you got to break that stuff up because you're gonna miss out, and you're gonna be upset when you finally get to go on that vacation and all them popping all them little blue pills and your stuff ain't working because you want to eat ramen noodles. You thought eating ramen noodles, now your blood pressure through the ceiling. I don't know, man. Maybe that don't make sense, but I'm telling y'all,
No,
don't do
no.
that.
I hear you. I hear you.
And these vacations is
There's
not
other
as
healthier
expensive
meals.
as you exactly.
Yeah,
There's
that's
other
the
small
thing.
healthy meals that you can take.
Hmm.
Portion control. That's all it is. Portion control.
Yeah,
Bro said he did
I'm trying to tell you. And it's not as expensive as you would think it is to vacation if you plan it out the right way. You
Nah,
know what I'm
facts.
saying? So
They got payment
enjoy
plans too.
today. Yeah,
They do got
enjoy
payment
today.
plans. I done
Now, if
bought me
you
one
ain't
of
got no
them
job and you ain't doing nothing, then yeah, you don't deserve the vacation.
bitches.
Sorry, you probably should be eating ramen noodles if you ain't doing nothing with
Hey,
your
bro,
life. But like, if for the people that's working hard, bro,
Yeah,
enjoy
yeah.
that shit today because you
But,
never know.
hey,
hey, bro.
You
facts.
know.
Hey, some people just they get money. They ain't gotta have no job, brother. I ain't had no job like for like two
Are you
years.
scamming?
Hey, bro, chill. Cause people, this the internet. People run with that stuff, bro. I don't need nobody in my business. Leave me alone. I was going to school. That was my job.
Well, that's different though.
Yeah, I'm about to say it's totally different. That still work in itself.
Yeah,
Was it?
Yeah, because I damn sure don't want to do it now. So.
yeah, I'm telling you.
Nah, I
Hey,
think
But
it's
yeah,
straight up.
man, y'all got another topic y'all want to throw out there?
Mm,
Let me
well, I
see.
guess since we was on the topic, I mean, we can go with that. When was the last time you feel like you was really present? Like, and by that, because I know we had talked about it earlier. You just wanted some more like meaning of what the question meant. And I think that for me, because I was reading a book, I think it was called The Way of the Peaceful Warrior. And in it, he just said that he was training one of his student or whatever, and he was telling him the student kept asking the student, my bad, where are you? Like, where are we at? And the student was like trying to get the address and stuff like that. He was like, no. He was like, in the universe, there's so much like space and planets and everything else. Like an address, if you somewhere else, doesn't mean anything. So he was like, what he was getting at was basically, you're here and now, like be here in this moment. And then they went on like a hike or something like that. And once they got to wherever they were going, I think he asked the student, like, how many rabbits did you see or whatever, or something like that. Like, did you even see that rabbit that crossed your path? And I think like my reasoning behind the question is I've been in, for example, for me, I'm gonna use myself. I've been in the living room with my family, and we'll all be doing whatever or whatever, and my wife or my kid could be talking to me, and I was completely spaced out, don't know where I was. It's not like I was on my phone or something like that. It's just I wasn't there. But I've had moments too, on the same token, I've had moments too where I've been sitting in the living room and I'll be watching my kids interact with each other, and I'll just like shed a tear. Like, they didn't do anything special. It's something that they do on a day-to-day basis. But it's just, for some reason, I was like able to sense like everything about that moment. And it just hit me different. And it just those moments, it's like, like, when was the last time you had something like that happen? Because we can be sitting somewhere and not be there at all. But when was the last time that you was able to have something like that,
See, Sean,
transpire?
Sean, wife on here watching. He tried to butter her up
Hey,
before
nah,
before we
chill,
got.
chill, chill, chill.
well, that's a good question. I don't know, man.
I'll talk about. I do that every day. Last time I could say I was physically present and like had like a tear moment was probably the last Call of Duty win we had like two
Shut
days
the
ago.
fuck up. I thought you were
Hey,
about to
bro,
say
let's go ahead
shooting.
and end it on that note,
So
brother.
I'm
Like, let's
telling you,
go ahead.
I'm present. Like I was there. I do the kill count. I do what we was doing. Like that's the presidents I feel. Now, along with the family. Now, on a serious note, I can say honestly, I don't truly know because I think we're so like Braxton say we're so caught up in the moving so fast that sometimes you forget the joy that now we take the little things for granted. Because I can totally understand like it be times I listen to Ashton like him learning more words and trying to talk and just seeing how he's picking it up and put it together like that. Like to me, it's like, oh snap. And I call my wife and she'd be like, yeah, he's been saying that. And it's like, oh damn, for real. And it's one of those things like, damn, I must have missed it. Like because you take certain things for granted. And so
Hmm.
I think it's hard because I'll be lying if I say I go outside and look at nature and try to breathe in, breathe out, and sit there and take everything because I'm like nah. So I should probably do it more, but I think the first step is probably meditating. I heard that's
Yeah,
really good, real good for the mind and body.
yeah. I think probably the last time I was like, damn, was it was like a couple weeks ago. They had like a for some reason my son's school like does twice out of the year where they like for math and then like spelling they give out awards to the kids or whatever. So um it's like it was like between the three kindergarten classes, it's like 50 of them. So and I think for the spelling, like five out of that 50 receive like this like awards for if they can spell out 25 words, 50 or 75, which is the highest for which is very, very good for a kindergartner. And then for math, if like they can it was like 500 words or something. So like Derek had gotten an award for he was like one of two kids out of all three classes that got math a mathematician award or whatever.
So
And so for me, I was like, damn, because he didn't start talking really until he was like 3 years old. You know what I mean? So like most kids, obviously they talking by, one and a half, two. You know what I mean? So Derek didn't start talking until he was like three and a half, really. So like, what I'm saying? So I was always worried about that type of stuff. And then like, all of that shit kind of like exploded once he, started talking and all that. And then, what I'm saying? So they had that. He won that award. Like I said, he was like only one out of two out of like 50 kids in his class that got it. And then also like a few days later, they had like the parent teacher conference, and then they printed out this whole like sheet of all of the stuff that they go over, and it's like based on California what they expect, and then based on the national average or whatever. And they were like saying like, oh, okay, so Derek is this is what we want kids to have at this part of the year, and then by the end of the year, and then this is what we want him to be doing going into first grade for next year. So like for all of his goals, he was already at the end of the year stuff, and I was like, damn. I was like, so, and then they showed us like national average, like he was well above that, and I was like, damn. I was like, okay, so like all the work that we put in, you know what I'm saying? Because we was always like worried, like you know what I'm saying. I don't want him to ever be behind or you know what I'm saying any of that stuff. So like that's when like it all clicked. I was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? The shit was hard. Some days you was like low key a little emotional and scared because you're like, damn, I don't want my kid to be like looked at different. But like, you know what I'm saying? You just put the work in and it actually, you know what I'm saying? Now not only is he with his peers, you know what I'm saying, in all those areas, he's above his peers and that. So like that was like the okay, like you know what I'm saying, not always being worried about the future and just kind of like working on what you can work on then reading that bed and all that stuff. So that was like parenthood stuff type stuff. Like, yeah, you just got to be present for the moment. So, you know what I'm saying? I was in there like, look at my little boy. He doing his thing. But hey, I'm telling you though, that shit was like, it was nerve wracking when he was in daycare and all that stuff. And you see other kids talking and doing all this stuff and he just wasn't there, you know what I mean? But it also just made you remember like what some of the teachers was telling me like, hey, respect your kid's journey. You know what I'm saying? Every
mm,
kid develop at different things. So if you always worry and you're not putting in the work, then they will never, you know what I'm saying, get there because you only you everything is based on your expectations and not necessarily like where they at like living it basically like living that moment type thing. But
no
yeah, so
facts.
maybe like a couple weeks ago. But yeah,
What's up?
yeah,
I feel that. I feel that.
For real.
Like that. Like that.
yeah. But I guess we can. I don't know if y'all got anything else. If y'all want to end it out there.
I just got one more thing. Just want to share this real quick.
Okay.
Let's see here.
There's a
Let's see
video.
this. No, it's just a picture. Share.
This that shit that you was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me see what this say. 5 of their players said this shit. Man, shut the fuck up. Hey man, it's
Hey,
hard. It's hard being a fan of Detroit sports because it's like we ain't never got like everybody on clicking on the same cylinders. For is usually the Lions is usually terrible and the Pistons are decent, and then Tigers and the Red Wings is high. Right now, the Lions is the only thing like really hitting on anything because yeah,
hey
but
man, check it
one
out.
day,
Rose making
man.
some good points. Rose making
Yeah,
some good points.
man,
But
stop
no,
that.
that's all I had, man.
All
But but all right, man.
All
Well,
right,
that's
man.
that's been an episode. If y'all got any
Oh,
questions, anything y'all want, anybody want to come on here? Kayla, I see you in here. You need to hop on here with us again. Chip be lying. I already know Chip ain't gonna get on. Um, but yeah, man. Yeah, that's it though. Y'all
all
got any?
right, man. Nah,
Yep,
Appreciate
man,
everybody for
sweet.
stopping in and listening to her.
yep.
It. All right.